In the dim glow of the executive office, high above the bustling city streets, Elena Vargas, the iron-willed CEO of Apex Innovations, leaned forward across her polished mahogany desk, her eyes sharp as diamonds, locked onto the man standing before her, Mark Thompson, her most promising project manager, but also the one who'd been dodging her invitations for weeks. "Why are you avoiding me?" she demanded, her voice a mix of frustration and unspoken vulnerability. Mark's face paled, his hands trembling slightly as he clutched the folder in his grip. What he said next shattered the room's tension like glass underfoot, revealing a truth that would upend not just their professional lives, but their hearts forever. "Hey everyone, welcome back to Stories That Inspire. If that opening hooked you, and I know it did, because who doesn't love a twist that hits right in the feels? Make sure to smash that like button right now. It helps us bring more emotional roller coasters like this to your feed. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could change how you see the world." Alright, let's dive into this tale of love, loss, and unexpected redemption. Buckle up, it's going to be a journey. Mark Thompson wasn't always the quiet, reserved single dad buried in spreadsheets and late-night emails. 5 years ago, he was a different man, vibrant, ambitious, the kind of guy who'd light up a room with his easy laugh and infectious energy. He had it all: a loving wife named Sarah, a cozy home in the suburbs, and a baby girl on the way. Sarah was his high school sweetheart, the artist to his engineer, the one who balanced his logical world with bursts of color and creativity. They met at a college art exhibit where Mark, fumbling through an elective class, accidentally knocked over one of her paintings. Instead of anger, she laughed and said, "Well, at least it's abstract now." From that moment, they were inseparable. But life has a way of flipping the script when you least expect it. Sarah's pregnancy had been textbook perfect until the 3rd trimester. One rainy evening, as Mark drove home from work, his phone rang with the news that would haunt him forever. Sarah had collapsed at home, a rare complication from preeclampsia. By the time he reached the hospital, their daughter Lily was born prematurely, fighting for every breath in the ICU, and Sarah didn't make it. The doctors said it was sudden, unavoidable. But those words did nothing to fill the gaping void in Mark's chest. Overnight, he became a widower and a father, thrust into a world of formula bottles, sleepless nights, and an ache that never fully faded. Mark threw himself into work to survive. Apex Innovations, a cutting-edge tech firm specializing in sustainable energy solutions, became his lifeline. He started as a junior engineer, but his dedication, fueled by the need to provide for Lily, propelled him up the ranks. By day, he designed innovative solar panels that could power entire villages. By night, he was Lily's everything: storyteller, chef, comforter during thunderstorms. Lily, now 4 years old, was a spitting image of her mother. Curly brown hair, bright green eyes, and a curiosity that could fill encyclopedias. But she also carried the scars of her early birth, mild developmental delays that required weekly therapy sessions, and a fragile immune system that turned every cold into a potential hospital visit. Elena Vargas watched Mark from afar at first. As CEO, she prided herself on knowing her employees, not just their output but their stories. Apex wasn't just a company to her. It was a family she built from the ground up after her own turbulent upbringing. Born to immigrant parents in a cramped apartment in New York, Elena clawed her way through scholarships and late-night studies to earn her MBA. She founded Apex with a vision: clean energy for a better world, and a workplace where people thrived, not just survived. At 38, she was single, her romantic life a series of fleeting connections sacrificed to the altar of ambition. Men saw her as intimidating, beautiful, yes, with her dark wavy hair and commanding presence, but always one step ahead, always in control. It started innocently enough. During a company-wide innovation summit, Mark presented a breakthrough in battery storage tech. Elena was impressed. His passion mirrored her own. Afterward, she approached him in the hallway. "Brilliant work, Mark. We should discuss scaling this over coffee sometime." He smiled politely, muttered something about deadlines, and vanished into the crowd. She chalked it up to shyness. But then came the team-building retreat. Elena made a point to sit next to him during the group activities, her questions probing but friendly. "Tell me about yourself beyond the code." Mark deflected, excusing himself early with a vague mention of family obligations. Weeks turned into months. Elena's invitations grew more direct: a casual lunch to brainstorm ideas, an after-work event for top performers. Each time, Mark found an excuse. Overtime, meetings, even a sudden errand. It stung her ego, but more than that, it intrigued her. Why him? Why this quiet man with the sad eyes and the impeccable work ethic? She began noticing little things, the photo of a little girl on his desk, the way he'd check his phone obsessively during breaks, the faint shadows under his eyes suggesting nights without rest. Meanwhile, Mark's life was a delicate balancing act teetering on the edge. Lily's therapies were expensive, even with insurance, and Apex's benefits helped, but not enough. He moonlighted as a freelance consultant, squeezing in hours after Lily's bedtime stories. His parents lived across the country, offering emotional support via video calls but little hands-on help. Friends from his old life had drifted away, uncomfortable with his grief. He dated once, briefly, a kind woman from Lily's press school group. But it ended when she realized his heart was still tethered to Sarah's memory. "I can't compete with a ghost," she said, and Mark didn't argue. One particularly grueling week, Lily came down with a fever that spiked to 103 degrees. Mark rushed her to the ER, spending the night in a plastic chair, holding her tiny hand as IV fluids dripped. The next morning, bleary-eyed, he called in sick for the first time in years. Elena noticed his absence immediately. His team was in the midst of a critical project deadline. She sent a message, "Everything okay? Let me know if you need anything." No response. When he returned the next day, pale and distracted, she cornered him in the break room. "Mark, we need to talk. My office, end of day." He arrived punctually, folder in hand, assuming it was about work. Elena closed the door, gesturing to the chair opposite her. The city skyline twinkled behind her, a stark contrast to the storm brewing in the room. "You've been avoiding me," she said bluntly. "Invitations, conversations, everything. If it's something I've done, tell me. If it's professional, we fix it. But this dance ends now." Mark shifted uncomfortably, his mind racing. How could he explain? Elena was everything he admired: strong, visionary, kind in ways that slipped through her tough exterior. But getting close meant risking the fragile stability he'd built for Lily. And deeper still, Elena reminded him of Sarah. Not in looks, but in spirit. The way she laughed at team jokes, the passion in her eyes during presentations, it stirred feelings he'd buried deep. Feelings that terrified him. I'm not avoiding you intentionally," he stammered. "It's just complicated." Elena's brow furrowed. "Complicated how? Mark, you're one of my best. I value your input. Is it the workload? Personal issues? Talk to me." He took a deep breath, the words tumbling out like a dam breaking. "I'm a single dad, Ms. Vargas. My daughter Lily, she's everything to me. Her mom passed away during childbirth. It's been me and her against the world since then. She's got health issues from being premature. Therapies, doctor visits, the works. I can't afford distractions. And you're amazing, but getting close to anyone, especially someone like you, it scares me. Because if it doesn't work, if I mess up, Lily pays the price. I avoid you because you're a reminder that life could be more, but I don't know if I'm ready for more." The room fell silent. Elena's eyes widened, a flicker of understanding crossing her face. She'd read his file, knew about the bereavement leave years ago, but hearing it raw from him, it hit differently. Her own losses surfaced: the father who abandoned her family when she was 10, the mother who worked 3 jobs to keep them afloat. Vulnerability wasn't her strong suit, but in that moment, she saw a kindred spirit. "Mark," she said softly, "I'm sorry, I didn't know the full story, but avoiding isn't the answer. Let me help. Apex has resources, flexible hours, on-site childcare pilots, and personally, I'm not asking for anything you're not ready for. Just a conversation, a start." What followed was a turning point neither expected. Over the next few weeks, Elena implemented changes: a dedicated fund for employee family support. Inspired by Mark's story, Mark tentatively accepted her offer for coffee, not as a date, but as colleagues sharing burdens. Lily's latest therapy session coincided with a company event. Elena arranged for a sitter from the new program, allowing Mark to attend without worry. But challenges loomed. Rumors spread through the office, whispers of favoritism, questions about the CEO's interest in a subordinate. Mark faced backlash from jealous colleagues, one even confronting him, "Sleeping your way to the top, huh?" It stung, dredging up insecurities. At home, Lily sensed his stress, her tantrums increasing as she clung to him more. "Daddy, don't go away like mommy," she'd cry, breaking his heart. "Ain't you?" Elena faced her own trials. Board members questioned her soft initiatives, arguing they cut into profits. Her ex, a rival executive, leaked old emails twisting her intentions, painting her as distracted. In a heated board meeting, she defended her vision. Apex succeeds because of people like Mark, dedicated, innovative. Supporting them isn't charity, it's smart business. She won the vote, but the strain showed. Their bond deepened amid the chaos. Late-night talks turned personal. Mark shared photos of Sarah, stories of their life together. Elena opened up about her lonely climb to the top, the sacrifices that left her isolated. One evening after Lily's fever scare, Elena showed up at Mark's door with soup and toys. "I know what it's like to feel alone," she said. Lily, shy at first, warmed to her, drawing a picture of the nice lady who helps Daddy. The climax came during Apex's annual gala. Mark, dressed in a borrowed suit, arrived with Lily in tow. The event now family-friendly thanks to Elena's reforms. But disaster struck. Lily had a meltdown, overwhelmed by the crowd. As Mark knelt to comfort her, a snide comment from a board member echoed, "This is what happens when we mix personal drama with business." Elena, overhearing, stepped in. "Enough," she declared, her voice commanding the room. "Mark's drama is what makes him human, what drives his genius. If we can't support that, we're no better than the corporations we vow to outdo." In the quiet aftermath, on the balcony overlooking the city, Mark turned to her. "Why fight for me?" Elena smiled, vulnerable for the first time. "Because you remind me there's more to life than boardrooms. And maybe, just maybe, we're better together." Their first kiss was tentative, a promise of healing. Months later, Apex thrived with record innovations, thanks to a happier workforce. Mark proposed to Elena in the park where he and Sarah once picnicked. With Lily's blessing, Mummy would like her. The wedding was simple, surrounded by colleagues turned friends. Lily, now healthier with better support, walked down the aisle scattering flowers. And so, what began with avoidance ended in unity. The lesson: life's greatest changes come when we face our fears, share our truths, and let others in. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the bridge to something extraordinary. If this story moved you, touched your heart, or made you think about your own life, drop a like below. It means the world to us creators. And subscribe for more tales of triumph over trials. What's your takeaway? Share in the comments. Until next time, keep inspiring. But wait, that's just the surface. Let's deepen this story, because real life isn't wrapped up in a neat bow. Flashback to Mark's first days at Apex. He was a shell of himself, arriving with red-rimmed eyes and a resume that screamed potential but whispered pain. His manager, an older woman named Carla, took him under her wing. "Kid, you've got fire, but don't let it burn you out," she'd say. Carla became his mentor, teaching him the ropes while subtly checking on his well-being. It was Carla who first suggested therapy for his grief, though Mark resisted at first. "Men like me don't talk about feelings." He'd think, a holdover from his stoic upbringing. Lily's early years were a blur of milestones mixed with setbacks. At 6 months, she hit her first developmental delay. No rolling over like other babies. The pediatrician recommended early intervention, speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy. Mark juggled it all, waking at 5 a.m. to prep bottles, dropping Lily at daycare, working a full day, picking her up, therapy, dinner, bath, bed, rinse, repeat. Weekends were for catching up on laundry and bills, with occasional park visits where Lily's laughter reminded him why he pushed on. Elena, meanwhile, wasn't always the powerhouse CEO. Her journey started in poverty, sharing a bedroom with 2 siblings while her mother cleaned offices at night. School was her escape. She excelled, winning debate championships and science fairs. College brought freedom but also heartbreak. Her first love dumped her for being too ambitious. That fueled her drive, build something unbreakable. Apex began in a garage prototyping solar tech with a small team. Investors laughed at first, a woman in green energy. But Elena's pitches were flawless, securing funding that grew the company to $1 billion valuation. Their paths crossed subtly before the avoidance. During a company picnic, Lily toddled over to Elena, drawn to her shiny necklace. "Pretty," Lily babbled. Elena knelt, smiling. "Thank you, sweetie. What's your name?" Mark scooped her up quickly, muttering apologies. Elena thought nothing of it then, but the image lingered. A father so protective, so devoted. As Mark's avoidance intensified, so did his internal conflict. He admired Elena from afar. TED Talk on sustainable futures inspired him to join Apex, but proximity bred fear. What if she saw his mess? The toys scattered in his apartment, the frozen dinners, the nights he cried alone. What if she judged him for not moving on? Elena's side was equally complex. Single by choice, she dated sporadically, but partners always left, citing her workaholism. "You're married to the job," one said. Deep down she yearned for connection, but trust was scarce. Mark's distance puzzled her. Most men fawned over her status. His authenticity drew her in. Post-confrontation, their relationship evolved slowly. Coffee became weekly check-ins. Elena shared her immigrant roots. Mark opened about Sarah's art, showing Elena a painting that hung in his living room. A vibrant landscape that captured their love. "She saw beauty everywhere," he said. Elena nodded. "So do you in your designs." Challenges mounted. A respiratory infection landing her in the hospital for 3 days. Mark took leave, but guilt gnawed at him. Elena visited, bringing books and a stuffed animal. "You don't have to do this," Mark said. "I want to," she replied. That night, as Lily slept, they talked for hours. Mark confessed his deepest fear. "I'm afraid to love again because losing hurts too much." Elena took his hand. "Me too, but hiding hurts more." Office drama peaked when a leaked email from a disgruntled employee accused Elena of nepotism. The board called an emergency meeting. Mark, hearing the rumors, stood up in a staff huddle. "Ms. Vargas has supported all of us. This isn't fair." His words rallied the team, but it put a target on his back. Resolution came through teamwork. Elena revamped policies, parental leave extensions, mental health days, family events. Mark led a project incorporating employee feedback, boosting morale. Personally, they navigated boundaries. Dates without pressure, including Lily gradually. A picnic where Lily called Auntie Lena melted barriers. The Gala incident was the catalyst. After Elena's defense, Mark realized his avoidance stemmed from self-protection, not just Lily's. He proposed months later, ring in hand, under a starry sky. "You've changed everything," he said. Elena, tears in eyes, accepted. Years on, they blend families. Elena adopts Lily. They have a son. Apex leads in green tech, inspiring global change. The message: embrace vulnerability, it forges unbreakable bonds. Healing comes not from isolation but connection. If you're still with me, thank you. This story's length mirrors life's complexities. Like if it resonated, subscribe for more epic tales. What's your emotional story? Comment below. To expand further, let's explore side characters and subplots. Carla, Mark's mentor, plays a pivotal role. Retired now, she returns for the wedding, toasting, "I knew you'd find your way, kid." Her own story, widowed young, raising kids alone, mirrors Mark's, offering wisdom. Another subplot, Elena's brother, Miguel, a struggling artist, moves in temporarily. His presence highlights family ties, as he bonds with Lily over drawing, helping Mark see art as Sarah's legacy, not pain. Lily's growth arc is heartwarming. From shy toddler to confident kindergartner, therapies pay off. A scene where she presents a school project on my family, including Elena, brings tears. Conflicts deepening, a competitor poaches Mark with a higher salary. Tempted for Lily's sake, he declines after Elena's honest talk. Stay if it's right for you, not obligation. It strengthens trust. Emotional peaks. Anniversary of Sarah's death. Mark visits her grave. Elena waits in the car. "Thank you for understanding," he says later. "She's part of us," Elena replies. The story's pace builds, early setup slow for character depth, mid-rising action with challenges. Climax at Gala, resolution with marriage and legacy. Inspiring message: no one is defined by loss. Open hearts invite miracles. Life's plot twists lead to beautiful endings if we face them bravely.